Hello guys and gals and welcome to Rauta Beyond. This time I will tell you about a instrumental synth music project. Actually two of them, because this is a split release by Russian Satanath and Australian based Striborg. Prisoners of a Solar System is the name of this split CD release. Both of these bands have been active on their own fronts previously, but now it's time to go through this, what could be seen as a compilation split release. These guys have been doing cooperation, or sort of collaboration, previously, but this one, as you can see, with the tracklist provided here, or more like the information, not so much tracklist. As you can see, these first 5 tracks by Satanath are from various demos, and then these tracks from 6 to 11 are from different releases apart from the very last track here. So it's kind of a compilation of sorts, and it's not fully instrumental. There are some lyrics included. Some of these songs have vocals, but it's mostly something which we could just consider going on about experimental synth music. Let's take a look at the band's Metal Archive site, even though this is not technically speaking a metal release, but here you have the basic information. First of all, Striborg used to be a metal band. That is when they started. Here is mentioned that how they are kind of like black metal ambient earlier on, and then later on changed their style towards kind of a cold wave or electronic. And this list is vast. Actually, on the Striborg own page, it's mentioned that there's like 3 different phases of the music going from metal to different parts, but we're not gonna get into that. Satanath, then again, doesn't even have Metal Archive site because it's not really metal music. So while these projects, I would call them projects rather than bands, because they're just one-man operated projects and not real like band full of members. And also, I know that the Satanath guy is also involved in other bands, which then makes this even more kind of a project nature thing rather than a real band. Anyway, those projects are metal related, and Striborg used to be metal, so it kind of is justified that it's right there in Metal Archives, even though it's not metal release as such. Also, the label Grim Distribution is one of those 3 different Satanath dominated labels, which then again release a lot of music which is more or less metal music. Anyway, this is kind of a compilation to describe fully and going to exactly on point, because it really differs from track to track. But let's say first 4 tracks by Satanath are more or less kind of experimental synth music, instrumental fully. Lots of these backgrounds are kind of what could be described as a dungeon synth music, but maybe more experimental, more like space-like. So maybe it's like more like space synth rather than Mortis type of dungeons in the caverns and cellars and basements. And the last track, then again, this is called Darkspace, or is very, very much more like space ambience. Nothing really happens there, so it's kind of the type of dark ambient which I'm a fan of. But these 4 other tracks, they're way too filled with certain kind of beeps and buzzing sounds for my taste, so it's kind of hard to get into, and these tracks are lengthy as hell. So in my opinion, it seems a lot of these are going under lots of improvisation, which then again might be a cool thing for some people, but I guess that's more marginal nature, because all this music is marginal nature in the first place, so this is even more marginal style. Now, because Striborg tracks then again are from various different releases, the style differs from one track to another. Say some parts are rather popish, like pop music, electronic such, and then again some tracks are more about this kind of experimental synth music. Some are more electronic, some are closer to dungeon synth, and some are, kind of a combination of these different styles. And as such, it's kind of hard to recommend this album to any given group of people, because different styles might be not everybody's cup of tea, even if you like a couple of tracks here and there. Curious enough, I think the best track on this compilation split is the track number 10, called Proceeding from a Dark Place. And even so that it's so popish, electronic kind of a song, but there is something which I really enjoy with this atmospheric track. I could imagine it being worth for a listen to the people who are a fan of electronic Ulver stuff, Ulve from Norway. But really, this is a kind of a compilation that's hard to get into. I guess this is mostly for Striborg fans, but also for people who are ready to experience and go beyond the borders of your typical metal-related synth projects, mainly dungeon synth, mainly dark ambient, but also those other projects like synthwave or retrowave or whatever you want to call it. But like I said, hard to just put this all under one umbrella term, except for synth music. Mostly instrumental, not truly, so it kind of messes up with the deal overall. And what's interesting is that this album is almost 80 minutes in overall length, which makes this a very, very big package to listen to in one go. So you can imagine what I've been going past 4 hours. I was giving this album 3 spins, straight one after another, and it's kind of an interesting journey, because first of all, not all of these tracks really speak to me, but then again, I really like some of these ideas. So it's interesting 4 hours when you go 3 full spins one after another. Anyway, those who are ready to explore this genre, well, go to take a listen. There's a link provided in the description box, and in case this is just too much for you, well, that's how it goes with the marginal genres. Anyway, looking forward to your comments and opinions. If you have questions, put them on the comments box below and I will get back to you. Meanwhile, take care and see you soon with more reviews coming your way.